city pounding in my
Joey
brain.
said, "Get the show on the road."
Up every morning just to keep a job. I gotta fight my way through the hustle and mob. Sounds of the city pounding in my brain while another day goes down.
Дым от сигарет кружится, как тези споры, тонкий английский лед, под ним кипящее море. Рюмка на полпальца, и где-то усталая печень, но он опять рвется в зал, как будто последняя встреча. Жесткое вино разума обжигает, но будет спящих каждое слово, как выстрел в зал, и не осталось священных щелей, где бы он тихо промолчал. Где-то в Багдаде жара тонет в сарказме и прозе. Он пишет, как режет ножом по мифам на белой бумаге. В студиях, в старых барах, в маленьких залах кампусов он ставит под роспись богов и веру сдает под авансом. Жесткое вино разума обжигает, но будет спящих каждое слово, как выстрел в зал, и не осталось священных щелей, где бы он тихо промолчал. Тело слабеет, голос сипит, но шутка выходит точнее. Он поднимает стакан и говорит: поверим, кого соберет скорее. Публика держит дыхание, он не дает ей надежд, только упрямая да к сомнению и пути. И следуй смерть. Жестокое вино разума обжигает, но будет спящий каждое слово, как выстрел в зал, и не осталось священных щелей, где бы он тихо промолчал.
Good evening, everybody. This is Divided We Stand. It's Sunday night, and we are one day away from June the 1st. That means summertime. And while everybody kind of chills in the summer, we get unchilled and we really get started. And we expect that to happen, especially in July. So look forward to that, folks. Yes, this is Divided We Stand. You can find us on YouTube. We ask that you subscribe to the channel. We are not a monetized channel, which means we're not looking for your money or for anything but your commiseration and your participation, because that's what it is. We just facilitate the participation in the chat. If you're not subscribed, we ask that you do subscribe, because it does help us. It helps the algorithm, like anything else. And we hope that you will subscribe. So if you're out there watching and you're new to this channel or you're incognito, we ask that you subscribe. It'd be great. And please partake, because David and I are not experts. We're just people who want to do something about what's happening in this country. Also, if you're familiar with our group page on Facebook, it's the Divided We Stand Facebook group page, and it is very, very popular. We're approaching close to 2,000 members now, so we are growing, despite the fact that this is a private page. We try to lock out those who would cause some problems. We had that before, and we put an end to that pretty quickly, and it's been a big help. We don't have amazingly high numbers, but we do have a growing population, so we ask that you join there too, and again, participate. We ask that you make sure, and this is something that Dave has brought up before. I spoke to Dave briefly, I think this week or something, but the point is we have to be careful what we post, in the sense that now we're in the age of AI, and we'll probably bring this up at some point in time. Make sure that at least try to look up to see that your information is correct, because now things are getting a little bit wonky, and we certainly don't want to be put on the same field as the Republicans. So let's try to get legitimate. And I can't really check this out all the time, and nor can Dave. I mean, we do check the posts every once in a while, but we really can. So we're just hoping that those people who are members will just remember, just kind of check your sources if you can. And it's really, really difficult. I understand that. I've made mistakes myself, but try to check your sources, because at some point, a lot of people who would ordinarily join our group won't join our group. So yeah, just we need some help. In any case, we're going to go switch to Arlington, Virginia via Bridgeton, New Jersey, with my good friend and co-host, and that would be David Price. Dave, what's happening this week down in Arlington and with you?
Well, let's see. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about Donald Trump and the Kennedy Center and his imaginary Trump Kennedy Center, and a judge that kicked his ass. And the Kennedy Center, of course, is entertainment. So I would be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit too tonight about Mr. Bruce Springsteen coming to Washington, D.C. and his concert, since it was the most political concert probably in the history of D.C. by one artist. But let's start, Brian, with the Kennedy Center.
Yes.
Okay. So what's going on? Trump got his ass handed to him. He now has he had a decision to make. So let's go back in the history a little bit. So we'll review. So as anyone who's ever, been pretty much to DC or knows anything about it, the Kennedy Center was the primary center for the arts in DC. I mean, we have the Shakespeare Theater and we have the Arena Theater, and but everything was kind of secondary to the Kennedy Center. It had great one-off programs. It brought, off-Broadway shows there. It had the home of the National Symphony Orchestra. It was the home of the National Ballet. Every, national musical or creative dance organization we had was housed there. It also had, prior to COVID, for 365 days, Brian, I've never heard of this anywhere, it had on the Millennium Stage. Now, again, there are many stages. There are 5 stages in the Kennedy Center. The Millennium was the smallest one. It was out in the grand hallway. However, every night, Brian, they had a show there that was free from 6 usually till 7ish. I mean, and you can see everybody. Let's see. I'm just trying to think some of the shows Judy and I saw there. One of the most fun was every year they had Merry Tuba Christmas. If you can imagine, 50 tuba and flugelhorn players from 8 to 80, literally that age playing. I saw the writer of Schoolhouse Rock performed there. Bands, no telling. Well, it was going very, very well, and Trump didn't do much with it in his first term. He, might have complained a little bit about it. But when he gets reelected, one of the first things he did, Brian, was very early on in his presidency, he removed enough members from the board, which he has the power to do. They are appointed by the president, to have gain control. And of course, in one of the most startling things, I thought, now it's just like just another day in the office for Trump. But that was a moment when I said, what the hell is that? He had himself appointed chairperson of the Kennedy Center. Now, that has nothing to do with running the country. Now, granted, the Kennedy Center has a presidential box that is kept open and not used unless the president and some friends show up or family. So, I mean, it's not like, gee, I got to be in charge of this to get a seat. So, but all of a sudden, some of the other board members then said, after he's elected chairman, why am I going to stay here? A couple just left, some stay to fight. And see, that's one of the questions. It was interesting. That's one of the real questions. What do you do when Trump gains control and you can't be effective? It's similar with Congress. I mean, all the places where he's in control. So,
Any normal person
why did
leave. You know what I mean?
Well, the other side of it, I'm going to stay and fight. Well, if the board is, I think at one point, I don't even know. It was like 5-2. The two members left. Really, I mean, what are they going to do? Right. They can't win. They can't. They can go out and they'd almost be better being outside protesting than they would. So I understand that. So the reason, of course,
the board of one also, that became nice.
Well,
more people leave, just like his goddamn musicians or whatever.
Well, we'll talk about that too tonight, because entertainment's in quite a bit of a disarray here in D.C. But so he had to come up with a reason. Well, we know the reason. He wants to control every damn thing. I think you said you're going to title this show Edifice Complex. And edifice, which of course is a play on words on Oedipus complex. An edifice, fancy word for building. And Trump believes, and has believed for a long time, that he needs his name everywhere. There's a great poem by Percy Bysshe Shelley, which I advise everybody to run across. Not a long poem. It's called Ozymandias. And I don't want to spoil it for you. But basically what it says is all the monuments and Ozymandias was the greatest king in all the land. And all the monuments you build eventually turn, as Kansas pointed out, to dust in the wind. Okay. So what did he want to do? He wanted to eliminate my favorite word that they use, woke programming. And he specifically said drag shows. Now, you know how many drag shows there's been during Joe Biden's time?
Drag shows
at the Kennedy Center?
Zero.
At the drag shows? No, 2. I mean, drag is big entertainment. I mean, but of course, what he really didn't like is the LGBTQ programming, because.
Do you think Trump actually personally really gives a shit about that thing?
No, that's to appeal to his base.
Yeah, right.
No, Donald Trump. Well, I'm going to go here. It's going to be kind of gross, people, but hang on. If Donald Trump did what he's accused of doing and on record is doing, if he had sex with a boy child, what does that make him? Okay, it makes him a pedophile. But no, that was a blatant. I don't know if it was a reward or a reassuring of his base that he would not tolerate this in his city of Washington, D.C. Okay, so what happens? just what we saw happen this week with his aborted America's State Fair entertainment. We'll come back to that later. But immediately, Brian, artists started canceling. Immediately. Big shows. One of the big ones that comes through every year is Hamilton. Makes sense, right? You know, Washington, D.C., Hamilton, still one of the most popular. There are people who like the show so much they go every year. Lin-Manuel was the first to pull out with Hamilton, and others followed, and suddenly the floodgates were open. And not only that, but you know, the Kennedy Center is a big operation, right? Then they had their advisors and paid people walking away. And so what would Trump do? Would he try to help it out? No, of course not. And this gets to, I think it was Veg's question or somebody's question.
Yeah, they had already, Veg had asked whether, I think it was it Veg who said that? The question was whether they had removed it yet.
No. Here's what happened.
Yes, I think
so.
Yeah, there it is.
So yeah. So what happens is, as unbelievable as it seemed, and remember, this is just early in 2025. This was one of the first glimpses we had at the inner workings of the Trump mind that we're going to be with for the next 4 years, right? And he actually put it up there. I've been there. I've seen it. The Donald Trump is on the top. John F. Kennedy. Now, what a lot of people don't get, I shouldn't say that. What a lot of people don't know, don't get, is that you're familiar with the Washington Monument, right, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Memorial?
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson Memorial?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Kennedy Center is the JFK Memorial. What happened was, if you remember, you know, he was, his administration later, it wasn't really at the time, but Jackie Kennedy and Life magazine, I think it was, got in collusion. And, you know, they talked about Camelot and this great, and Jackie was the one that did. I mean, Jackie really liked the arts and they had all these people there. So that's great. She and the family worked and they said, let's make it, and, you know, kind of a high culture entertainment center, but not always. I saw the country band Asleep at the Wheel there. A lot of times they would have tributes like to Woody Guthrie and they bring musicians all in, but it was basically just open to everybody. So Trump puts his name up there. Now, here was a little problem. The Kennedy Center, as all memorials and monuments are, is established by Congress. That's it. But of course, Trump, it didn't matter.
Right.
He didn't care. So as you go back, as the historians go back, they will see this not just as some kind of battle over an entertainment center that was named. They will see on a collision course. Now, as you can well imagine, the Kennedys being staunch Democrats, except for Looney Tune there, the Maha MAGA guy, RFK Jr., they were upset and irate and, of course, spoke out. And between the time, well, actually, before he even put his name up there, it was a couple months, all of us in D.C. had to decide, would we go there or would we not? Now, as I said, Judy and I probably went there on an average. Now we're getting a lot more free shows. I bet you we averaged 3 times going there.
3 times
over the period.
A month?
3 times a month
Wow.
going to the Kennedy Center for something. I mean, the programming was outstanding. And then, as I say, you had these free concerts that were, you know, fascinating is the best way to say it. There weren't any bad ones. There were ones I might not like. And so Judy and I sat down, as did many, many, many families here. And we decided, we made it. Judy didn't want to go. She just wanted to have nothing to do with it. And I said, well, hon, if you do that, the problem is you're hurting the actors and the actresses and the stage hands and all of that. I said, what I would prefer that we do is if somebody shows up or an act shows up that we know is anti-Trump, And if I can, which of course I can, if I can wear one of my anti-Trump shirts there of my collection, and I said my middle finger still works. So so we have only been since Trump has been in. Now remember, I'm saying 3 times a month, maybe 7 times every 2 months. We've been once, and what we went to was a symphonic rendition of Dolly Parton's music. Now, anyone who knows Dolly Parton knows that she is the anti-Trump. I mean, she is goodness personified, right? And he, of course, is evil personified. So we went, and the way you go, we don't drive. We take the metro, and that picks us up, right here in Crystal City, and drops us off at GW. And then you pick up a shuttle bus, and you could walk it. We've walked it a lot of times, but shuttle bus takes you to the Kennedy Center. So we do that. We get off. We walk in. There's 2 main entrances on the one side. We go in the one where we've always gone in with the shuttle bus. And Judy just stopped and froze. On the wall, inside, which had never been before, were 4 pictures. Would you like to guess who they were pictures of?
With Trump?
Donald Trump.
Donald Jr.?
No, good guess. Melania, J.D. Vance, and Mrs. J.D. Vance, if that indeed is what he's calling himself today, because he's had 4 name changes, so I guess it's still J.D. Vance. And Judy froze, and she just said, if we hadn't already purchased tickets, I would be leaving this right now. So, we went in, people commented on my shirt, I like that. We made our stand. But now imagine, as I said, there are multiple stages in the Kennedy Center. The largest, this was not in the largest, it was in the second largest, which is the Opera Center. It is.
How big is the Kennedy Center? I have not seen it. I've been in it.
Oh, it's, like I said, well, it holds 5 theaters.
Is it as big as at a regular sports arena in home?
Well, not as high. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I kind of.
I'm talking about like a football stadium, something like a hockey or basketball arena.
Smaller,
Close.
but I mean, it's okay. We'd be like this. It's whereas stadiums are multi-level and up. This is like you have a 1-story home, so it's horizontal, and it takes up a lot of room. But the seats in both the Opera Center and the main and 2 of the others, you have the floor seats, right? Then you have 2 tiers above that, and one of those are for the rich, famous, and wealthy. They're the box seats on the side, and then we always sit. We actually say it's our seats. We always do. We actually sit in the cheap seats, but it's the best seat in the house, I think. It's the highest you're up, and we just get it. It's right in the middle of the stage, so we're looking down. And as anyone who knows music knows that that's the best place to hear, the center, because that's where the sound's balanced. Anyway, but before we got to the concert, a young guy came up. Of course, everybody's young to us now, but he was young. And he had a guitar case, Brian. So I knew it wasn't you because you carry your guitar case. And I kind of speculated. And indeed, it was one of the performers with the Dolly Parton. What they had was, it was a National Symphony, but it's been touring. On tour now. But in each city, it brings in their symphony orchestra. But there's a band from Nashville of session men, and Brian, playing music. Nashville session men are as good as they get. I mean, they're up there with LA and New York. And this young guy, his wife, they were both touring the show. She was a vocalist, and he was a guitar player. He said, we really went back and forth of playing and not playing. And actually the promoters of the show contacted Dolly, and she said, no, go ahead. She said, go ahead. And her message was not directed anti-Trump, but certainly directed pro-people, which is anti-Trump. I mean, that's the nice, think about this, Brian, and everybody out there, think about this. If you take any position against Trump, you're on what used to be called, or still is called, the side of the angels. It's very easy. Just do the opposite, say the opposite, think the opposite of Donald Trump, and you're on that side. Okay. Now here's the sad part. Now remember, this is March maybe of a year ago. And so we're sitting there at this top. So you can't see under you. You know what I mean? If you're up in that. But you can see all the way to the front. Now, in the first 4 rows, Brian, there were 2 people. That was it. In the first 4 rows, not one person seated in any of the box seats. Not one. Few people where we were, few people. So that was our experience. And we went. And as Trump continued to mouth off, we just said, then we moved to, no, we're not going. Now, periodically, there would be protests out there with his name there. And then this week, all of it came to a head. Now, last week, since this is Sunday, and a federal judge ruled that what Trump did by first of all appointing the members and assuming control was illegal. And I honestly thought, Brian, and this is really reassuring, this is really, really good for us. He capitulated. He gave in. He ranted, he raved, he pulled his dick out and waved it around, little tiny stub dick that he has, but he did nothing. He just said, and here's what he did. Don't defeat me. I was going to build it back better. Nobody cares. Own it. But he's going to abide by the court ruling. It appears. Now, of course, the joke down here is that all of us would pay to come see that name taken off. And you could even auction it off, like you can hold the chisel, whatever. Now, I believe, and somebody out there probably can do better than me.
Well, can you
check it out if you want to? I believe
is that challengeable?
Yeah, any ruling is challenging. That's Brian. This is what I'm saying. This to me is historic. The dude goes to court over everything, correct? That's what he's known for. And this time he's not. So something has changed or is changing with Trump. I don't know. But this is different. Now, the judge went further. What Trump had also ordered was that the center was going to close July 4th for 2 years for renovation. Does that sound familiar? Lincoln Reflecting Pool, whatever. And the judge in that same ruling said, no, you're not. What don't you get, Mr. President? You're not in control. What you did is illegal. The control you've taken is illegal. You cannot do this. So he gets on there. Now, that day, what happens in D.C., whenever you're going to have a big ruling, whether it's Supreme Court or this was federal court, you get protesters out there. So it was really cool because I didn't get out there, but I saw it. Protesters were out there and they win, right? But of course, there's been a lot of winning cases before. But I can't stress this enough. Donald Trump, for the first time in his presidency, as far as I know, capitulated to a legal ruling. Okay? Does that mean, I don't know what it means, but it means good stuff. Because what was really happening is, it's part of a national fight, but here in D.C., it's a real fight between Donald Trump and the city. I believe at this point, he's either put his picture or his name on 15, or planned to do 15 objects. Judy, I was there just the other day, and if you see it, it is a horror. They first of all, it was non-competitive bid contract. See what I mean, Congress knows. I mean, the Republicans knows. He sends out illegal no bid contracts. Well, guess what happens when you send out a no bid contract? Guess what? You get paid back. He's getting millions of dollars for these things that he's doing illegally. Forget about the fund for the January 6th. It is just like, Brian, I don't know, one of your students coming up to you and say, Mr. Weinstein, here's $200. Give me an A. You do it. It's just bought and sold. A president that is bought and sold. Mm-hmm. So you've got that. Now, the other one, which is pretty soon, the White House fence is going to extend out here to me. We live 4.6 miles from the White House. Brian, you can't get to the White House any way, shape, or form, because you have the East Wing, leveled, torn down, and everybody who has it, if anyone hasn't seen it, please go online. Its pictures are everywhere. Of the best way to describe it is, and it's been described this way, the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome UFC edifice he's building for his birthday fight. Now, I wonder. I don't think on my birthday I would want to watch sweaty men in trunks roll around. So I will leave the Kennedy Center with this. I could be wrong, but I think I'm going to be right. This is the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of the end. Donald Trump is done. He's done. After that ruling, he went on Truth Social and posted 51 posts that indicated that he is beyond whatever batshit crazy is, whatever's past that, he is now there. He last week, it was just loss after loss after loss. Some of these things he thinks he's winning, like the battle in Texas, he might have given control of the Senate to the Democrats by backing the MAGA candidate, Ken Paxton, who could give Trump a run for his money about being corrupt and being sexually deviant. Over the existing senator.
Do you honestly think there's anybody that's going to do him in the Republican Party at this point?
Pardon me?
You think there's actually anybody in the Republican Party that's going to do him in?
Yeah, I think there's 7 senators right now that are ready.
All right.
After
you
Cornyn.
Think one of those Murkowski?
Yeah, she's always in the mix.
I wouldn't say Collins, though. Would you?
Collins is in the mix. I'm not saying they're always.
See how Collins would do it. I just don't.
Here's what it is.
She talks a big game.
Brian, listen to this. Certainly logical thinking, but politics is not necessarily logical. There's only 3 things in politics. One is to win. That's number one. There's really nothing after that. If you don't win, you're done. And as Republicans currently in Congress, look at the polls, see the numbers, begin to see that if you even say Donald Trump's hair isn't beautiful, he's going to come after you. And one of the things with the Senate, it always has been, it's a knock on it. It's always been a good old boys club, right? That's part of the problem. Okay. I think sometimes being in the Senate is more important than whether you represent your area or whether you are a Republican or Democrat or whatever. So I think Cornyn, a couple others, there'll be a good possibility that Trump's cakewalk through the Senate is not going to be as easy. And remember, it's such a small margin. Anybody, on both the House and the Senate. So it'll be interesting to watch. Will they carry through? I don't know. Will Representative Massey, who Trump primaried out with a horrible candidate in Kentucky, will he carry through with his threat? There's no reason not to now, to read the names of the Epstein, those named in the Epstein files. He has them. He's seen them. He knows them. You've got, the piranha have been unleashed, but they're not just eating each other. They're eating Trump too. Trust me. Trump is not 1/10 as powerful this month as he was before. Veg, you're absolutely right. Okay. But listen, Eric is too dumb to walk and chew gum at the same time. Eric is a non-factor. Trump was raising, I don't know from birth, but certainly from the day he came down, the day he got in the presidency, he wanted Ivanka. When's the last time you've heard about Ivanka in the news, Brian?
Ivanka?
Yeah.
Probably 6 months, a year.
Right.
I don't know. It's been a long time.
You're right. So we don't know the dynamics of the Trump family, but my guess is.
Now, I'm not giving her kudos, I'm just saying she isn't part of it.
No,
The
well,
news
it's not.
cycle.
No. But remember, well, again, my thinking is anybody who was in Trump's camp and turns against him or doesn't work with him, not my friend, but my frenemy. So it leaves Donnie Jr. Now, there's no. I mean, I'd go on anywhere and say this isn't libel. I know quite a bit about drugs, and Don. I'm not saying he's an addict. I don't know, but he certainly hits the coke pretty hard. That's Trump has it, but that's not. He doesn't do cocaine. He may do Adderall or something, but. So I don't see any person out there. Well, I ask you, Brian, do you see any person out there who could transfer the power that Donald Trump has or his hold on MAGA? And I don't see it. So I don't. J.D. Vance, no way. Marco Rubio, no way. They're battling. Trump threw Vance under the bus last week. Does Vance stay loyal? Probably,
Is there
yeah.
another Republican entertainer out there? I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to make. If I were a betting man, I'm not. I think a possible team would be Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Right.
Now, that ain't.
Chuck Norris is dead, so he can't run.
No. Yeah. No. Is there another? No. I don't. I mean. Sean Hannity, I don't see that. Would have to be Joe Rogan has already jumped ship. He's not with him anymore. The young men in the polls are deserting him because there comes a point, and we are there now. We've talked about it before, Brian. We talk about it. Everyone's talking about it. Go to the grocery store, it's painful. Go to the gas pump, it's painful. Try to be a young person buying a house. You can't do it.
And by the way, I don't know if you saw, Dave, that the Trump administration is trying to raise taxes on people with electric cars because he says they're getting away with murder, that they don't have to pay road taxes. Which, road taxes, it's not all in the gasoline taxes that road taxes.
No.
So anyway, it makes it even more difficult for the EVs now. You're going to get penalized for doing the right thing.
Well, what I find interesting about Donald Trump is he's just, okay. He is a stupid man. He is a narcissistic, vain man. He suffers from mental illness right now, which from what most people who are observing him who have a physical background is saying senility and dementia. Mm-hmm. But in all this, he is an equal opportunity fucker for everybody. I mean, who's really grown? Well, now, here's one I'm going to point out tonight that worries me. And that is a man I've been worried about since the beginning of this, Peter Thiel. Okay. Did you have a chance, Brian? There's so much going on.
By the way, Kim, I know you said I have an echo. Is everybody else experiencing? I've got the echo cancellation on. I don't know what's going on, but are you hearing an echo from me, Dave?
A little bit, not a lot, but a little
Joey,
bit.
Are you hearing an echo from me at all? I want to just try to isolate it if it's everybody's hearing an echo, because I do have echo cancellation on, and I don't know why it's doing this.
Well, maybe it's just so important that your voice be heard 2 or 3 times.
I don't know what's going on. I really don't. I don't see anything in the numbers.
I don't. No, you're clear. You're clear on my end. It was just a little bit. So, all right, we'll keep working on it. So, what happens, as I say, is I don't see. This is me personally, and of course, I've been wrong a lot of times in Trump's thing, but I don't see the heir apparent. I just don't. And he's losing ground with the people he needs to get there.
So
you look at it, Brian. Right now it's a third of the country is opposed to him from a voting standpoint. A third of the country is in love with him, and a third of the country either didn't vote or uncertain. And that third that didn't vote, he's done nothing to pick up anything. Now, but this concern back with Mr. Peter, he runs an agency that has sold all the technology of spying and surveillance to the Pentagon. He's amassed billions. He is J.D. Vance's mentor. He is equally powerful, although his name is not as well known, maybe more so than Jeff Bezos, maybe more so than Elon Musk. And he has left the country and gone to Australia. Now, I would assume he has gone there for this reason. There is evidence, not just speculation, that a number of America's richest people have either bought property outside the United States or are building shelters here. Do they know something we don't know? Right? We want to start rumors. But if anybody had the goods, it would be Peter Thiel, because he runs the operation that spies on all of us, including the Pentagon. So I don't know what that means. We'll have to look at that. But in this week, as I said, that was the only kind of downside. The Springsteen concert that was here, and he ended the tour. He's supposed to end it here, but he ended it last night in Philadelphia. Let's put it like this. It was the most political, on the right side, comments that I've seen. So we were about 18,000 of us there, all anti-Trump, all somewhere, But it was, that was Donald Trump would have been ripped to shreds had he showed up. Okay. But at the same time, Mr. Trump, and this is what I just find hilarious. This is really funny. It weren't so sad. He's going to have this American State Fair, right? That was what he was going to call it. So it wasn't one day. It was going to be, I think, for 10 or 11, I don't know, some bunch of days. And so he announces a lineup. Mm-hmm. Not one of those people in that 11-person and group lineup had any kind of musical success since the 90s.
Wow. Isn't that something? I mean, like half a Milli Vanilli.
Milli, well, and even they're only half.
Right.
One of them's dead. And a couple, I was surprised about Martina McBride. I mean, she's a country star. Lee Michaels from Poison. So, but it was, they were, okay. If you consider, which I do, Ted Nugent and Kid Rock and Chachi, Scott Baio, as like the D team, this was like the D- team. But out of 11 of them, within a matter of days, 8 of them pulled out and said no.
It's embarrassment. And who pulls out in the end is Trump says, I want, he does his tacos every time.
Well, now we're going to see, because he now said, I don't shoot. It was the longest message I think he's ever put on Truth Social, or at least the longest one I've seen, about, basically it was this, fuck them. I don't need them. I'm going to bring, and this is what he said, I'm going to bring the number one entertainer, the most admired person in the world is going to speak there. And guess who that is? Me, Donald Trump. So whether he will carry through with that, I hope he does, because I would have to attend that one. That one would be, unless it's like, now, this is the other thing, this big, what is it? Ultimate Fighting Champ, whatever the UFC, whatever that thing is. It's where sweat.
It's obnoxious.
It's the worst of boxing, wrestling, and the martial arts put together.
It's gladiator warfare, and you're going to glorify it. Not you, but they're glorifying.
No. But do you know this? You know how many people are going to be there?
Well, I mean, he's giving away tickets to his friends and family and all that kind of shit.
So how many would you guess? There should be,
He said, I think they said something like 81,000 are going to be there or something.
4,000. On the White House grounds, actually seeing it, will be 4,000 people. That's it. Now, they'll put up screens on the Ellipse and the National Mall. So, and of the 4,000, he can't get people to come. So he has ordered his marching buddy there, Mr. Hegseth, to get, now think about this for a moment. to get a troop of soldiers from the Pentagon to come there to attend under orders, but Kim just put it up there. There's going to be a wait. You're going to have to pass like a physical test to come.
So the vice president will have to honor that.
Well, they can't. I mean, you've seen the memes and the pictures. Donald Trump claims he's 6'3" and 238 pounds, and they're always showing athletes that are 6'3" and 230.
The height's closer than the weight. Let's put it that way.
He's not 6'3" though.
I don't say. I think he's more like 6'1", but I don't give a shit, to be honest with you. But it's the weight thing that he lies about.
But that, he lies about everything, right? So I do feel a sense of sadness about this. As bad as America has been in its 250 years.
Vanilla Ice still says he's performing. Judy's.
Yeah, well,
how hard?
Oh, yeah, his thing was, Judy, what he said was, it's not political. I can do it anyway. Well, okay, whatever. Ice baby. You know what? One of the funniest things was they said he's going to do a 3-hour medley of his hit.
Right, and he stole the bass line from David Bowie, or
under pressure. That's right. That's under.
So it's not even original.
No. What do you mean? I see the Cap, my favorite, Cap 47. Dave can't get in. I'm gonna get in if I want to go. Now this was a separate trip I made this week or past week. I went, and Brian, it was really sad. On the south side, which is the entrance you usually do, you're all the way back. I mean, you can't even see. All you can see is this thing being built high. You can't get near it. You can't get near the White House, and the other side is just as bad.
Where is he getting all this money, Dave? Really? From me and you?
Money for what?
This shit.
Well,
where's the the accounting of this?
Well, there isn't. That's part of it. It was
who's contract. Getting paid? Who's going to get the check to put that monstrosity up, that edifice up?
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm not being facetious. You're asking a very good question. I would begin to ask the contractors who built his casino, who haven't gotten paid.
Right.
Look, it's there are people who will give him money. Okay, rich people. Why not buy your way in?
Well, they're going to expect something back, though.
Well, of course they are. But with Donald Trump, that's stupid because he's not going to give it back to you. He's going to give it to himself. I mean, anybody who would steal.
Well, I think though that some of them, like his attorneys, were pretty careful about that, saying that we're going to guarantee we get the money. Like put a retainer up front, or I won't, represent you.
No, it is. Well,
I know he won't use his money.
Yeah, but that's a turn. No. Well, you know what? It is. I mean, the corruption. And I'm not good with finances. My idea of finances: if I have $2, I'll try to spend $3. But I mean, it's just beyond blatant. In fact, I will say that his corruption is more open than any world leader right now, including Vladimir Putin. Mm-hmm. Putin covers up some of the stuff he does, right? Trump just puts it out there. So, as I say, this was kind of the week. I think this is the week, and wouldn't this be interesting, or I would find it interesting. Pop culture made Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Pop culture propelled Donald Trump to the presidency. Wouldn't it be interesting if pop culture cut him off? The Kennedy Center.
That would be nice.
This thing.
Well, we know that South Park's done a pretty damn good job. It shut him up. He didn't mention one thing.
And did you notice he? And that's the other thing too. I think he has so much now. And let's assume for a moment that he really does feel put upon. I'm just saying, maybe he does. Okay, I mean he shouldn't. But, oh, my God, suppose he does feel this way. Oh, my God, I'm doing all this for the people, and they don't appreciate it. They side with Kimmel. They side with Colbert. Now, there's some things we may never get back. We may never get back CBS. CBS is a gone network right now. Mm-hmm. Do you know that Fox News is more reliable now than CBS News? Think about it.
Well, I wouldn't mention either one of them in the same breath as far as being reliable. They're
Well,
reliably Trumpers.
Yeah, but once upon a time, CBS News was the whole home of Edward R. Murrow,
Right.
and Walter Cronkite,
Mike
and Dan
Wallace.
Rather, Mike Wallace, and 60 Minutes, and now it's been reduced to shambles. With this, Murdoch, on the other hand, Fox News, and Fox is starting. They're letting their, people like what's the guy at the Spies does the big news anyway. They're
Not
letting
Bret
some of them
Baier.
go.
He's kind of
Well, not Brett Baer, though. Jesse Waters. And, so you're seeing all this. Now, what is it means? What does all this mean? Anthony brings up, look, Stephen Colbert comes out a winner in this. He will make more money in the long run with less work, leaving CBS. Who loses? The people who would listen to him, who liked him. And that was another thing that got a little shaky. Remember, this was when Colbert was still with Stewart, and they did a poll with young people under 30, and almost by tremendous numbers, 70% were getting their news from them. So this pop culture thing that you and I have been talking about for how many years?
Mm-hmm.
It is now the dominant force.
Which was funny too, Dave, because remember, most people thought that the way we were going to fight Trump, or the way Trump was going to win, was going to be through politics, strictly politics, the old system.
There is,
but that's gone.
Well, there isn't, because no.
I just hope he doesn't get control of AI, though. That's where I'm really worried.
Well, okay, yes, I think next. Well, let's do it this. The show after you get out of. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. Brian's been in school for 62 years or something
Right,
like
a
that.
long
He's finally
42 years. In one
he's
way
going
or
to be
another.
released in June. Let's plan on doing the first show after that, a biggie. Maybe we'll even extend it a little bit on AI, politics, pop culture in the future.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because it is. I spent a lot of time with it on the writing end. You spent a lot of time with it on the music end. Now, the problem becomes, and this is, I've been very upbeat tonight about the destruction of Donald Trump. There's a couple warning signs out there. I said, I'm not real sure what Thiel did. I'm worried a little bit about that. The other thing is I had occasion to talk to young man, very, very literate, very understanding, who's second in charge of the office of the congressman from Philadelphia. And he's retiring. He's 70. He said he isn't as effective now. But what's happening, we saw it in New York City, the progressives on the Democratic side are lined up against the old guard. And I just hope that no matter which side wins, in any of these, that the other side joins in, because the enemy is not the progressives in the Democratic Party. It's not the conservative moderates in the Democratic Party. It's not the ancient people in the Democratic Party. The enemy is Donald Trump, the GOP.
But still, the Democratic Party does not have good poll numbers, though.
That's what
it's not a good thing. It's
look. A lot of people still believe this because they believe that there's not a bunch of difference between them. They're all the same. You've heard that,
and we have had people on saying that shit.
I know, and there are people you and I've dealt with, and I mean,
and we never bought that shit. I mean, there's a certain degree there's some truth to it, but not in any great way.
Donald Trump has burnt enough stuff down. We don't need to burn other stuff down. Okay,
right.
We're gonna have a hard time fixing this. One of the hardest, I think, this is honestly the thing that we may never quite get fixed again is our allies trusting us. Because if I'm on that side, I'm saying, happened once. Nope, happened twice. I really can't throw my lot in. They're not going to attack us, but what I'm saying, it's just that. So I think nationally we can build back a little bit.
We're going to have to change our culture, though. If pop culture is what's changing things, we need to change the pop culture. make
I
it
laughed.
popular? I don't
We
know.
were having.
I mean,
Well,
do you have any better
here's the-
ideas? I mean, really?
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I mean, you're absolutely no. What you just said is okay. We have to change the pop culture. How do you do that? The same way you try to figure out.
It involves a certain bit of marketing and manipulation to do that.
But also, you're also what makes. Okay, the one thing we had that went in our words viral. You were just telling me how much that one when we can't figure
Yeah, the
out
one
why.
video on the boycott got 1,500 views. And we're
mean,
normally
compared to
getting
us-
46.
Yeah, but if we could become rich and all, but also famous and powerful. And one of the things that I found interesting talking to this young guy was that what should I say? The hip, no, not hip. The people in both sides that are with it are either trying to learn it, meaning the congressmen and senators, or they're just turning it over to that. So social media is running the country in terms of reactions and relationships. I've often wondered, Brian, do you remember when TV first started? I don't. I mean, you don't either. But I mean, it was 1940s, and I wasn't born in 52. But initially, go back and look at those shows. I mean, they were Shakespeare. They were highbrow.
Mm-hmm.
And if we'd done that equivalent with the internet or social media, it would have been popular because to get the new thing. But every time it comes down. I'm working on an article now that I'm kind of enjoying. You know what industry is really kind of worried about it? Well, not the industry, the workers in the industry. It might be, every industry is worried about it. But the one, because it made the most money off the internet than any other single industry, is the porn industry. Have you spent any time?
Well, I can understand why, because first of all, we start to get into psychology and to basic drives. You have a lot of people out there who are, well, no, it's why wouldn't it be?
Oh,
I mean, I
I'm
know
not saying
it's some of it's absurd, like you say. Well, like
no,
do all these kind of things that are being done that you say normally.
Think about this. And it'll be majority male because males are fucked up for the most part. But AI can create for you. And don't tell me Ronnie, although Ronnie's it, and I'd say Judy. But it can create the perfect partner for you that will do anything, will say anything.
And that is something we have to have a show on. I mean, Paul and I had a guy named... who was the guy that had? I mean, you can help me out there. Hambone, Hamstead, or whatever his name is. And it came up. Actually, I brought it up because we were talking about technology, and this was 6 or 7 years ago. But it does create an issue. I mean, if you think porn itself has an ability to move numbers to that computer, and not only just for the computer, but to set up encounters, because you have to kind of include that. There's a certain, and I'm not here to judge, but there's a certain part of the brain that it's hitting, and
certainly if you want to stress, which we absolutely desperately need, if you want to stress that chauvinism should die, and male domination should die, which it should. At porn industry, it doesn't quite work that way. And there are women in it, I know, and I shouldn't speak for them, but I will. I've talked to them. I've interviewed enough in my reporting days. They're using, I don't find them, but the idea of it is it was and is a male-dominated business.
it's abusive to the females in many cases.
And that's the thing.
Now,
And
some females
now-
have been accused of being abusive to other females, but that's another issue. But
Well, I
in
mean,
general, the males have been abusive.
And what Judy puts up here is the real deal, okay? And I have no idea how to do it, none. How can we get people disconnected from the devices when everything is headed in the other direction?
You've kind of answered your own question. The
Which
train has already left, Dave.
Well, yeah,
And if you have a lot of hopium, I mean, not about you, but again, but it's just the idea that somehow it's going to we're going to figure this thing out. Superman's going to come in at the end of the day.
I think what you can do, and the train analogy is a very good one, Brian. I think you can't stop the train necessarily unless you destroyed the train, and that would be destroying the country. I mean, literally, if we went to
I mean, do you have that much faith in human beings, Dave? Honestly, I'm not trying to make you religious. You have faith in human beings that they're going to be able to stop this shit.
What you can do is slow the train down. Maybe that's the best you can hope for. That's the best.
Yeah, I don't see it happening though. I mean, I don't.
Well, I'm
see
not saying it will. I mean, do you see?
And it's like saying hey, you're going to stop AI. It's not going to happen. The best we can do is try to keep it out of the hands of people like Trump. But everything that your mind thinks AI may go to, it will eventually.
Oh,
you and I won't be alive to see that. That is.
I'm not so sure about that. The rate it's going.
Well, we're headed on our way out. We got 30 years at the most, and then that's it.
What I'm saying, for anybody who deals with AI, in just the past 3 months, if 0 was the worst photo ever produced, right, by AI, and 100 would be the best, we're up into the 80s now.
Oh, it's getting quite good, right? In terms of physically making things, I mean, they are making robots, and we've seen how war has changed with. I mean, I'm specifically talking about Ukraine, how that country has taken drones and changed. They're defeating a very. What you want to say anything about Russia, but they are kicking some ass with these drones.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm not a military historian. But when France and England in the Battle of Hastings and the English longbow allowed them to beat. In the American Revolution, we had no business beating the
British.
Forces, right? But what happened was they lacked support at home. They had to employ foreign Hessians. And they didn't have a supply line. So there's always been things, but all that was out of your control. Drones will revolutionize warfare more than the longbow did, more than the Gatling gun did, more than the submarine did, more than the bombs did. Not more than the atomic bomb, but planes itself. I mean,
and can you imagine the egg on the face of the United States military, knowing that Trump has been against Zelensky, and now they may hold the cards to us being able to survive.
Oh, no question. Attack. I mean, and I think, well, there's so many times, and clock on the wall says it's time to get out of here. But couple points. I've been reading a lot about, and not well, it's out there. It is sad, Brian. We're going to have in 250 years. Now, I'm not going to equate this to slavery. I'm not going to equate it to the Red Scare. I'm not going to equate it to the massacre and genocide of the Native American people. But I feel relatively safe in saying this. And it's been proven by historians. We're going to celebrate our 250th birthday as a country. And do you remember when we did the 200th? People felt pretty good about that.
The 200th.
It was, again, it was a show, but I can remember sitting home.
I remember the sailing ships coming up to Delaware.
Right. I wasn't going to get involved, and I really did. It's one of the few times I got locked into something, watching it on TV.
I was at a hockey camp when that happened. Yeah.
What we're gonna have is on our 250th, we're going to have the worst president in the United States history there. Absolutely. But maybe here's my optimistic note, and then we'll do our question out. We have an opportunity. Trump has given us an opportunity. He's shown us how bad it can be. He's shown us that we have to do something with our guardrails. He's shown us a lot. Now it's up to us to do two things, get rid of him and build back better. I'll go first this week. Given the entertainment world and pop culture, I'm more optimistic than I was last week. Trump is on his way out.
I haven't seen it yet. I know what you're saying. Okay. I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying, Dave. We've had a couple of victories, but we've seen this thing happen before.
I agree.
He tacoed on this situation with the entertainment, he's going to taco. He's trying to figure out a way to taco on Iran, and when that's all said and done, he's going to declare victory. But as you know, we're going to lose out on that one because aside from taking over Iran, we can't. We could take over Iran, but you'd have to give up a lot of lives to do it, and that's probably the only way you're going to do that. And they're not going to do that.
But here's something else. And again, I'm not disputing what you're saying. But what I am thinking is he's having a lot harder time convincing people that this is a victory. When somebody's paying $6
right
for gas, he can say all he wants.
Well, all I can say to that is, Dave, as much as you know the people on the other side, I don't think you know just how stupid human beings can be. I mean, really, I know what you're thinking, but yes, they will believe him. Sorry, they will believe him.
34%. Still leaves us 66% to play with.
And again, those people you talk about in the middle, they still can't figure it out. They're the ones, I don't know it's this or I don't know it's that.
Well, but what I'm saying is you've got...
And that's why we lose elections.
It takes forever. Cory Booker finally... I mean, he's running for president, but, New Jersey was in the spotlight this week with all that was going on.
Well, the kid from Cherry Hill East, Andy Kim, he was sprayed with pepper spray or whatever.
And again, what makes me optimistic is Trump is having a complete breakdown in the public, and we're seeing it. The scary part is if they're still giving him the nuclear codes.
That's something.
All right, Mr.
I wouldn't be surprised. He still has them. So
now you realize, ladies and gentlemen, this is if you care about Brian at all, he has now completed
41 years in total of education, being an educator. 41 years and 10 months,
and one more month to go.
And
you're in the home stretch. And what he's going to have this huge party, and I'd like to invite you all there. It'll be a month-long celebration. Brian will provide breakfast, lunch, dinner, trips to the Jersey Shore, trips to Philly. So just go to his house and hang out, no matter where you are. All right. Take care, Brian.
All right, Dave. Folks, thank you very much. We will see you next week. And again, Dave and I really look forward to July because I think when we were both focused,
both of us can work.
This will be good. It's not only good for me, but it'll be good for Dave too because I can put 100% into this. Not that I'm not giving, I really am, but yeah.
No, it's the old, Brian. It's the old. I love that. You only have 100%, all of us, right?
Right.
You can't give 110. You can't give 100. And if you give 2% of something to something, you can't give 100%. So yeah, I mean, work comes first. I mean, that's just got to be families. But now this can become your work.
Yeah, I can, and I'm not planning on that, as you know, Dave. We both don't plan, but but it is an option. I think at some point. But it depends on where we go with this too. I mean, do we try to expand? I don't know, and we're not going to get very far with algorithms. I know that, but there will be a change.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, this guy he comes up all the time. Al, go rhythm. Is there like a Bob rhythm too, or is it just Al rhythm?
We only know one thing, Dave. Is there life after Bob?
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you, everyone.
That's an old joke. We used to play in a group called Life After Bob. See ya.